Have you ever heard someone say, "I'll start investing when I make more money"? Or maybe you've said it yourself. "I'm in my 20s, I'm supposed to be broke. I'll get serious about retirement when I turn 30. It sounds logical, right? It feels responsible. You have student loans, you're trying to afford rent, maybe you want to travel and actually live a little. The idea of locking money away for 40 years feels like a luxury you can't afford right now. Most people think the solution to building wealth is a high income. They think the game starts when you're 35, you've got the big promotion, and you can finally start throwing thousands of dollars into a 401k. But the math, the cold, hard, unforgiving mathematics of wealth, shows that this is a catastrophic lie. It is a lie that has condemned millions of people to a life of quiet desperation, working jobs they hate until they are physically unable to continue. The shocking truth is that the single greatest financial asset you will ever have in your entire life is not your salary, not your house, and not a lucky stock pick. It is time. And the most potent, supercharged, irreplaceable block of time you have is the decade between ages 20 and 30. What you do with your money in this decade will have a greater impact on your financial outcome than anything you do in your 40s, 50s, or 60s combined. Waiting until you are 30 is not a neutral decision. It is an active decision to set your future on fire. My name is John. This is the Penny Plan, and today I am going to show you the shocking math that proves why your 20s are a financial superpower, the psychological traps that are trying to steal this power from you, and why starting with just $50 today is infinitely more powerful than starting with $5,000 10 years from now. Before we get into the numbers, we have to identify the enemies you are fighting against. Because if you don't know your enemy, you can't win the war. And make no mistake, this is a war for your freedom. Enemy number one is the tyranny of later. Your brain is not your friend in this fight. Your brain is wired for immediate survival and immediate gratification. Thousands of years of evolution have programmed you to prioritize the pleasure of today over the security of tomorrow. When you are faced with a choice between spending $100 on a concert ticket that gives you an instant dopamine hit, or investing that $100 for a reward you won't see for 40 years, your brain screams at you to take the ticket. The financial industry knows this. Marketers know this. They exploit this biological loophole with tools like buy now, pay later. They make spending feel frictionless and saving feel like a sacrifice. Procrastination feels like the logical choice because the pain of saving is immediate, while the pain of being broke in retirement is a distant, abstract concept. The enemy is the little voice in your head that whispers, "There's always tomorrow." But in the world of compound interest, tomorrow is a lifetime away. Enemy number two is the silent thief, inflation. While you are waiting to feel ready to invest, your money is not sitting still. It is dying. Every dollar you have sitting in a regular savings account is like an ice cube on a hot day. It is melting. That is inflation. It is a hidden tax that erodes the value of your cash every single day. The price of gas, groceries, and housing goes up by 3, 4, or 5% a year. Your savings account pays you 0.01%. You are losing purchasing power. Waiting 10 years to invest isn't starting from the same place. It's starting from a hole. The $100 you have today might only have the buying power of $70 in a decade. So while you were living your life, this invisible force was silently stealing from your future. Investing is the only way to outrun this thief. Enemy number three is the YOLO Industrial Complex. Society has sold your generation a very seductive lie, that your 20s are for experiences, not assets. It's a message blasted from every social media platform. You see the pictures from Bali, the music festivals, the expensive brunches. This creates an immense social pressure to spend. If you are the friend who says, "Sorry guys, I can't go out, I'm putting money in my Roth IRA," you are seen as weird. You are seen as a miser. But this YOLO culture is a trap. It is a marketing campaign designed by corporations to get you to convert your future freedom into their present profits. They want you to finance the vacation. They want you to lease the car. They want you to rent the luxury apartment. They want you to arrive at age 30 with a great Instagram feed and a negative net worth. Because once you are in that hole, you are a customer for life. You will be shackled to a job making payments, forever chasing a lifestyle you can't afford. The stakes are not small. This is the choice between a life of options and a life of obligations. Let's get to the numbers. I want to tell you a story about two people, Sarah and Tom. This story will change the way you think about money forever. The shocking math. Sarah versus Tom. Sarah is a smart 20-year-old. She starts her first job, and even though she is not making much, she decides to invest $300 every single month into a simple S&P 500 index fund. She does this religiously for 10 years. On her 30th birthday, she stops. She never invests another penny for the rest of her life. She just lets the money sit there and grow. In total, Sarah invested $36,000 of her own money. Now let's look at Tom. Tom believes in the "I'll do it later" philosophy. He spends his 20s having fun. On his 30th birthday, he gets serious. He starts investing the same $300 a month into the same index fund. But he is diligent. He does it every single month until he retires at age 65. Tom invests for 35 years. In total, Tom invested $126,000 of his own money. He invested almost 4 times as much as Sarah. Who has more money at age 65? It's not even close. Assuming a historical market return of 10%, Tom, who invested over $120,000, ends up with about $1.1 million. That's fantastic. But Sarah, who only ever invested $36,000 and stopped at age 30, ends up with $1.8 million. Let that sink in. She invested $88,000 less than Tom, but she ended up with $700,000 more. Why? How is this possible? It is the magic of compound interest. Every dollar Sarah invested at age 20 had 45 years to work for her. It was her most powerful employee. By the time Tom started at age 30, his dollars only had 35 years. He missed the most explosive part of the growth curve. Sarah's money had a full decade head start to multiply on its own. By the time Tom was just getting started, Sarah's army of dollars was already a conquering force. This is the tyranny of the math. You cannot catch up. No matter how much money you make in your 40s, you can never get back the decade you lost in your 20s. But the benefits of starting early go far beyond the math. Investing in your 20s is about building the money muscle. Think of it like learning to lift weights. When you first go to the gym, you are weak. You can only lift light weights, but you build the habit. You learn the proper form, you get comfortable with the process. Investing in your 20s is the same. When you start, you are only investing small amounts. $50 a month. $100 a month. The stakes are low. The market crashes, you lose a few $100s, it stings, but it doesn't ruin you. This is where you learn the most important skill of an investor, emotional control. You learn to see a market downturn not as a crisis, but as a sale. You get your financial sea legs. If you wait until you are 40 and have $100,000 to make your first investment, the stakes are terrifying. The market drops 20% and you just lost $20,000. You panic. You sell at the bottom. You lock in your losses. You didn't build the muscle when the weights were light, so you can't handle it when the weights get heavy. Starting early rewires your brain. You stop seeing money as something to be spent and you start seeing it as a tool to be deployed. You develop an investor's mindset. You start looking for assets, not liabilities. This psychological training is arguably more valuable than the money itself. It prepares you for a lifetime of sound financial decisions. Let's reframe what investing is. You are not saving for retirement. Retirement is a boring word that means being old. You are buying your freedom. Every dollar you invest is a tiny clone of you that goes out into the world and works for you, so that one day you don't have to. Let's look at the freedom equation. If you can accumulate 25 times your annual expenses, you are financially independent. You never have to work another day in your life if you don't want to. So, how do you get there? You get there by buying your time back, piece by piece. Let's say you invest just $5,000 in your early 20s. That $5,000, left untouched for 40 years, can grow to over $200,000. That $200,000 can generate $8,000 a year in passive income forever. You just bought yourself a permanent $8,000 a year raise that you never have to work for. That covers your groceries for the rest of your life. This is the mindset shift. You are not losing $50 when you invest it. You are buying a small piece of your future life. You are buying the ability to say no to a job you hate. You are buying the ability to take a year off to travel in your 40s. You are buying the ability to start a business without fear. Investing in your 20s is the ultimate act of YOLO, because you are ensuring that you get to truly live for the majority of your one life, not just for a few fleeting years of youthful consumption. I can hear you screaming at the screen. But John, I don't have any money. This is the biggest mental block. You are thinking you need thousands to start. You don't. You need to get in the game. Here is the exact, simple blueprint. Step 1. Open a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is the single greatest wealth-building tool for a young person. Think of it as a magic box. You put after-tax money into it, and it grows completely, 100% tax-free forever. When you take it out in retirement, the government cannot touch a single penny. It is a gift. You can open one online in 10 minutes at places like Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. Step 2. Buy one thing. Do not try to pick stocks. Do not buy crypto. You are not a genius. Buy a simple, low-cost, total stock market index fund. A good ticker symbol is VTI. When you buy VTI, you are buying a tiny piece of every publicly traded company in America. You are betting on the entire economy. It is the simplest, most effective, and most proven way to build wealth. Step 3. Start ridiculously small. I am serious. If all you can afford is $25 a month, start with $25 a month. The amount does not matter at the beginning. The habit matters. The act of setting up the account and making the first transfer is the hardest part. Once you do it, you break the inertia. Step 4. Automate it. Do not rely on your memory or your willpower. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your Roth IRA every single month. The day after you get paid, set it and forget it. This is the secret. Wealthy people are not more disciplined than you. They just have better systems. Automation is the system that beats human emotion every time. Now, there is a powerful counterargument that you are probably thinking right now. It is the argument that keeps more young people from investing than any other. And it is the idea that my 20s are for living. I don't want to be a miser who pinches pennies and never has any fun. I will have plenty of time to save when I am older and boring. This brings us to the twist. This is the reframe that you have to understand. Not investing in your 20s is the true path to a deprived life. It is the most short-sighted anti-YOLO decision you can possibly make. Think about it. The person who spends every dollar in their 20s arrives at 30 at ground zero. They spend their 30s frantically trying to catch up, saying no to opportunities because they have no savings. They spend their 40s stressed about retirement, chained to a desk, working for a boss they can't stand because they have no FU money. They arrive at their 50s and 60s realizing they will have to work until they are 75, too old and tired to enjoy the money they finally have. They sacrificed their entire adult life because they refused to sacrifice a few bar nights in their 20s. Now look at the person who invests in their 20s. They make small sacrifices. They drive a slightly older car. They take one less vacation. They cook at home more often. They arrive at 30 with $100,000 already working for them. This leverage allows them to take risks in their 30s. They can start the business. They can take the lower-paying but more fulfilling job. They arrive at their 40s with so much passive income that work becomes optional. They get to spend their 40s, 50s, and 60s living life on their own terms. Which life is truly deprived? The one where you have a few years of reckless fun, followed by 40 years of obligation. Or the one where you have a few years of mindful sacrifice, followed by 40 years of freedom. The twist is that investing is not about restricting your life. It is about expanding it. It is the ultimate act of self-care. It is a gift to your future self. Your 20s are your superpower decade. It is the one time in your life when you have the magical combination of a long-time horizon and the power of compound interest on your side. Once you hit 30, that power begins to diminish with every passing day. You can make more money, but you can never make more time. Every dollar you invest before the age of 30 is a super dollar. It is worth 10 times more than a dollar you invest in your 40s. Do not waste this superpower. Do not let the enemies of procrastination, inflation, and social pressure steal this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity from you. You don't need to be rich to start. You just need to start. Open the account today. Set up the automatic transfer for $50. That single action, that one decision, can be the difference between a life of struggle and a life of abundance. The choice is yours. The time is now. If this video gave you the clarity and motivation to finally start your investing journey, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and like this video. It helps the channel reach more people who need to hear this message, and it tells me that you are ready to take control of your financial future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.